Right, well, you will have to show your photo ID when you head to the polls next month. The law was upheld by the Arkansas Supreme Court just last week. It's also one of the issues on the ballot. Now, if passed, it would strengthen the state law by putting it in the Arkansas Constitution. This morning, Representatives Mark Lowery and Charles Blake join us to discuss both sides of this debate. So let's go ahead and start with those who are for the voter ID law. Representative Lowery, why should people vote yes on this?
Well, in 2016, the Gallup poll showed that only 30% of Americans were confident in the honesty of elections. And we feel like voter verification at the ballot, it's a small hurdle for folks. We've also added in a provision, at least in the law that was upheld by the Supreme Court, a provision that if you don't have ID, you can sign a sworn statement. So there really is no issue of disenfranchisement, but there is an issue of protecting the integrity of the ballot.
All right, and Representative Blake, why do you believe people should not vote for it?
Well, as Representative Lowery just stated, that there is a concern with integrity and security of elections. That concern should be taken care of at the registration process. The issue with this law is with issue 2 is that it is a solution to a non-problem. There is no voter fraud in where you are pretending to be someone else, and I would challenge Representative Lowery to give me cases where that has happened. So what we're doing is we're actually making it harder for those who are homeless, for those who, for minority, for those who are low income, to actually give them obstacles and hurdles to go vote. When you look at what this law is doing, it's requiring that you have a state ID, that you have a passport. There are certain IDs that are not acceptable when you go vote. My city just passed a ordinance where we have city IDs. You can't use those to go vote. Yeah. So what you're doing is you're actually, like I said, giving you obstacles and hurdles, making it tougher for people to go vote.
What would you say to that?
Well, there's a long list of IDs that can be used, and in addition to that, both the bill and the constitutional amendment provides that the Secretary of State's office will provide free IDs, and every county clerk in the state has equipment to be able to produce those IDs. Now, back to the issue of whether there's fraud or not, that's really not been my main contention in presenting the bill. However, the Heritage Foundation just came out with a study, 2018 study, that says that there have been 950 convictions on voter fraud over the last 10 years. That's nationwide. And we also have issues that have happened in the state as recently as 2016. A B.B. Alderman was convicted for voting twice. In 2012, Hudson Hallam, a Democratic state representative, was convicted for voter fraud related to absentee ballots. So there are incidences, but the main issue is that we need to shore up the confidence of voters in the election process, and I hope by virtue of that we'll also be able to increase voter turnout, and that's always a good thing.
How could you, I guess, give people more confidence in the voter process? Then what are some ways you would suggest besides voter ID?
Automatic voter registration. Where you would have a secure process when you're registered. When you go to the DMV, the Office of Driver Services, when you go in and get a new license, a new ID, change of address, then we're securing, and when we're knowing who you are and where you're registering and updating your voter registration on site. And you go through 3 different points of contact that would make sure you are who you say you are. Now, just to respond to what Representative Lowery just said, voter ID wouldn't have stopped any one of those cases he mentioned. What you have is you have a case where people are changing townships to go vote. That's voter fraud. Have people who are voting twice. If you have your ID and you show it twice, you can vote. That's not going to solve the issue that voter ID says it's protecting. So what you really have is you have a non-issue, which is voter impersonation. That's the fraud that voter ID would stop. But that doesn't happen. Okay. So once again, what we're doing is putting obstacles, making it more difficult for people to go vote.
All right, well, this is definitely a topic that has strong opinions on both sides. Thank you guys both for joining us this morning. All right, up next, a weather lady and a baby. It's not Natalie, but we'll show you one meteorologist how she pulled double duty while on the air. We'll be right back.